getting ready for his speech. What do you think about his speech, Connor?
Yes.
You were Chase. Yeah, you were.
That's true.
Well, I can still do it. Yeah, I did do it. I remember.
Yeah. No. Well, Evan's supposed to do Chase and Joey. I go by what's up there, and now you're throwing me for a loop because you're all picking your own order. But yeah. So you were supposed to do Joey.
I'll do it. Okay.
Evan's so handsome.
Like myself. Alright. Do you believe in salary caps? You will. You all will. As you may or may not know, I'm a huge Spurs fan. The Spurs are a small market team from San Antonio in the NBA. Now, San Antonio, they're not the wealthiest city. They don't have the biggest population. Yet, the Spurs have been very successful over the years. The Spurs have won 4 championships in the last 13 years. And they have made the playoffs every single year for the past 15 years. Incredible. Incredible. Now, they have even retained their star core of players, and they have signed many great players that helped them along the way to achieve such greatness. Now, how is this success possible? You might be asking yourself. Why don't the bigger market teams, the teams from bigger cities, ever court these stars away from San Antonio? The answer, ladies and gentlemen, is salary caps. A salary cap is the limit on how much a team can pay its players' total salary. Now, this is the ultimate way to ultimately create parity, which is equal opportunities to sign different players. Since every team has the same cap, every team has that same amount of money they can't exceed, so every team has equal opportunities to sign different players. So, 3 out of the 4 major professional sports leagues have this salary cap. These are the National Basketball Association, the National Hockey League, and the National Football League. The MLB, however, the 4th one, does not. And a great deal of controversy circles around whether the leagues that don't have a salary cap like the MLB should institute one. And there's also a great deal of controversy on whether or not the leagues that do already have a salary cap should change their system. Now, this debate can become very heated and can become drastic if the two sides between players and owners cannot reach an agreement. When this happens for long periods of time, it's known as what's called a lockout. In a lockout, players can't practice together with their team. They can't use team facilities, meet with their coach, anything like that. Really, they can't do anything to do with the team. Recent instances of lockout were this NBA season was cut short by 16 games because of a lockout that was going on. Before this last NFL season, they missed their entire training camp because of a lockout that was going on. And the most drastic lockout in recent history was in 2005. The entire NHL season was canceled. Now, will this disagreement between players and owners ever truly end? The answer is no. Because ultimately both sides just want more money, and as we all know, money corrupts people. So that will probably never really be solved. But if you take a look at the advantages, you will see that salary cap needs to be instituted in every single professional league. It needs to be instituted because it limits overspending on players, it creates a level playing field, and creates parity, like I already discussed. Alright, though many feel salary caps unfairly limit player salaries, I think they are a must to control overspending. Salary cap critics truly believe that these players should be making millions, that they're so great and they're worth so much to their team, they should be making millions of dollars. I do not believe this. Let's take a look at how much these players are really worth to their teams. Alex Rodriguez is the highest paid player in Major League Baseball history. He makes a whopping total of $33 million a year. This already seems like an amazing salary. But let's compare it to the Florida Marlins' entire payroll of 2009, which was $37 million. Only $4 million more than Alex Rodriguez alone makes a year. Astounding, astounding numbers. Now, additionally, according to Bob Nightingale of USA Today, quote, Albert Pujols signed a guaranteed contract with the Angels that will pay him $240 million over 10 years, end quote. This kind of overpaying is ridiculous and just uneconomical. I mean, these players, they hit a ball with a bat. I mean, it's really, I'm not saying it's not hard, just, there are so many people out there that work so hard just to make ends meet, and they hardly make a fraction of what these players are paid. Now, this is, ultimately I go on and on about how it's
This is good shit.
but I'll simply say this is why the MLB and every other league that doesn't have a salary cap does in fact need a salary cap desperately. Although the opposition may deny it, salary caps bridge the gap between small market and big market teams. According to Joe Posnanski, opposer of salary caps and writer for Sports Illustrated, quote, free market leagues have had more parity in championships, with 20 different winners of the World Series in the last 30 years, end quote. However, what Joe conveniently leaves out in his statement is that 7 of the last 11 World Series titles have come from cities with a top 10 population in the league, obviously showing there's a strong connection between the population of a city and the success of that team. Furthermore, in the NFL, which does have a salary cap, unlike the MLB, smaller market teams have prospered. Denver, St. Louis, Baltimore, Tampa Bay, Pittsburgh, and Indianapolis have all won Super Bowl rings, or have brought back Super Bowl rings to their town from 1999 to 2009. None of these teams have top 10 populations only, showing that a salary cap, if instituted, can give those teams that don't have the most money in the league, it can give them more of a chance to win. The facts do not lie. The use of a salary cap creates equality despite the size of a team or city. The main reason I truly believe in salary caps is the competition and parity they foster when utilized in leagues. Essentially, they create what's called a level playing field. Since every team has that same number they can't exceed, every team has equal opportunities to go out and sign these big names, these big players like Alex Rodriguez. According to Brendan McSherry, under cap, quote, the Twins would have had a fair chance at courting Alex Rodriguez in 2007, despite the fact that the city, team advertising, and revenue are considerably smaller in Minnesota than New York. Without all these stars flocking to the same big city teams like New York, Boston, and those teams, the talent is really spread out throughout the league more evenly. Therefore, this creates more even matchups, more competitive games to watch, and overall more exciting experience for fans. Consequently, salary cap supporters believe this competitive balance enhances overall competition, it enhances revenue brought in by the league, and the experience for fans. Overall, salary caps are desperately needed in professional sports because they lower overspending, create a competitive balance between teams, and an overall more fair system. I do not believe player salaries are unfairly limited. These players, in fact, it disgusts me how much these players are paid. It really disgusts me. Success can indeed be linked to population and big markets. Therefore, a salary cap is definitely needed to bridge the gap between those smaller market teams and the big market teams. Lastly, parity is the main argument for salary caps. Every team should have equal opportunities despite the size of their city. Sports should not be a competition between populations. They should not be a competition between front offices or team owners. They should be a competition between players. Players that are evenly distributed throughout the league to make more competitive matchups and a more enjoyable experience for fans. Do you believe in salary caps? I believe in salary caps. Because they give teams like my Spurs equal opportunities to players, and give fans like myself a reason to smile. Thank you.
That's some good shit right there.
Questions? What happened to
No
all our
questions.
questions? The first day we had questions and now we don't have any.
So well explained.
Such a good speech.
Oh, yes, question. What?
OKC. I had to do it, man.
Sweep. Sweep. Any questions?
Heard it from here. After speech interview.
What?
How'd you feel up there?
Amazing.
What do you have to say to all your viewers?
Hi, Mom.